How's it going, guys? My dad is back in the trailer inn. We have a couple cows we're going to sell this morning and a group of calves. We can take our beef animals to market on Tuesday and Thursday every week. Normally Tuesdays we'll take a trailer or something over, and then Thursdays sometimes. We usually calve in more cows in the fall. We've had a lot of dry cows the last couple months. Now they're starting to calve in, and our barn's going to get full pretty quickly. So this is our pre-fresh pen. These cows are all going to be calving within the next couple weeks, and we're going to need to make some space for them. Got 2 cows in group 2, number 5 and 998. That's 5. Actually, one was in pen 3, but we found her. So these 2 cows are our lowest 2 producers in the entire barn right now, besides a couple fresh heifers that are just getting started. He's gonna pull around to that side. We'll get the Angus calves out. It's always kind of a balance because we want to keep the barn as full as we can. We also need to have space for fresh cows. The way our barn is set up, it's really hard to milk extra cows if we have too many. We milk 14 sides of our parlor every milking, and if we have too many cows, they don't fit on those 14 sides. It kind of throws off the pattern. We really try to keep it at 185 cows or less. Five nice Angus calves. We actually have 6 nice Holstein heifers that all need to be moved out to the calf barn too this week. So we're not having all Angus calves, gotta have plenty of heifers too. My dad will take those to the market, and then when he gets back, we're gonna move some heifers around. We have calves to move out of the calf barn. That means heifers to move up to the dry cow barn and everything. Part of what I do every week is just keeping track of how many cows are in the barn and how many cows are going to be calving in that week to make sure we have space. The last few months we were only running about 180 cows max, but now with these extra fresh cows it's getting full. So we were at 185 cows coming out of the weekend, and then yesterday I dried off 3 and we're selling 2 today, so down to 180 cows again. We got some space for cows to calve this week. The dry cows are in the lower barn there. Those are the ones that are 2 months out from calving. We'll stop milking them for a couple months, and then once they're about to calve, we bring them up into the pre-fresh pen. So these are dry cows as well, but they're about to calve. They get a little different diet fed to them. It's nice to have some extra cows coming in so you can be selling cows that are not being as productive as they need to be. So while my dad's taking those cows to market, I'm gonna get the list of heifers ready that we can move into the next pen. So this is one report I'll look at. This is the cows that we're going to be milking by month based on how many are calving in and how many we're going to have to dry off. So this is one thing that I can look ahead at a little bit just to see what the herd's going to be looking like. This takes into account a certain number of cows that you're going to be selling every month. You can tell it how many you're planning to. So cows that calve, yet in October we have 14 plus heifers, 8 of those, so that'll be 22 more animals coming into the herd this month. Now, I think some of those already calved. We just need to get those actually entered in the computer. This is just a helpful list, and then you can see how many you're going to be milking. The end of October, 184, which is fine. The end of November, 199. So that means by the end of next month, we're going to have to sell a number of extra cows to make space. It's a good problem to have, but it just means we're going to be selling some cows that maybe we wouldn't have to sell if we had space for them. We're having a little issue with the one silo unloader. Our Triticale silo, the fan isn't spinning quite fast enough with the dry forage that's in it. I just saw Jeff, our silo unloader guy, pull in. He's bringing along a little different size pulley. We're gonna just speed that fan up a little bit, make sure it doesn't leave a pile at the door. It just wasn't throwing it out of the silo real well. We're getting down to some drier forage that we need to make a change.
This is some of it. So that's packed in there.
Okay, yeah.
It's not letting the throat be the whole way open. Now run your hand down here. Feel that gum there. That's what we're feeling. That's what our issue is. You see that?
Yeah.
So it sticks to that and it don't have no speed. See how it's caked on there a little bit?
Yeah.
That's all it takes. So I'm hoping I can bump the paddle out a little bit, scrape that off, and it'll probably be good for a while.
So if I had issue with it gumming up, I could pull a garden hose up and spray. If I sprayed in underneath while it's running or something?
Yep, I would just like hold it right here in front of the auger. It'll clean up. And you might have to do that once a month kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to clean the gum out.
We're gonna start moving heifers now, so with our new setup, we don't have to take any heifers to the other farm. No loading the trailer anymore, so that's really nice. Just gotta chase the oldest pregnant heifers into the dry cow pen. Some pretty big animals in this pen now. Start loading some calves up now. We have 8 of our own heifer calves to move, and then we have some Angus that we were raising for the neighbor. We're gonna haul to his place now. Probably do that first. There they go. Now we're back to get these Holstein calves. Now I'm gonna chase them all to the front, make sure they know how to step over this curb. It can be a challenge. Hey, that was easy. Get these calf pens cleaned out right away. Megan will come through with the pressure washer, clean these all up before we move new calves in. Hey guys, it's the next day. So right now the triticale silo is running. Still having issues with it. You can see the feed's coming pretty slow there. Yesterday the unloader guy came, we put a little bit of a different size pulley on there to speed that fan up a little bit, which he's done that before on some silos and it worked. We also found a good amount of build up in that blower, just gummy stuff from the feed that builds up over time that we cleaned out. Since yesterday now, the unloader hasn't been working real well. The amps run real high, works it real hard, and then the switch goes to stop the ring to let it clean out every 5 or 10 seconds. So the feed flow is inconsistent and it's just not working as well. We're talking it over. I think what we're gonna do is actually put the old pulley back on there. Since we cleaned out that fan housing, just that gummy stuff in there, I think it'll work fine. This is the old pulley we had on. I'm gonna go put that back on there. If you remember when we were harvesting the triticale in the spring, the crop was really dry, especially the stuff we put in towards the bottom of that silo. We were trying to get it dry to make sure we didn't make a bunch of juice. It ended up being plenty dry, and so That dry feed, it's making great feed. It's just the unloader doesn't like it quite that dry. I think we'll be able to make it work. We just gotta make sure we keep that gum cleaned out of there every once in a while. I'm gonna let this batch mix. Once this is done, we'll shut the system off and then I can climb that silo and work. It's amazing the difference with the corn silage, just how much easier this unloader is to run. It just runs through the fan super easily. We've had no trouble with that silo, but the triticale is a little bit of a battle. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for us to learn how to get the settings right and how to put the feed in to make sure we don't end up with too many troubles. If we can get it at 60% versus 50% moisture, that's a big difference. Ready to head up into the silo now, so I'm just gonna pause the system there. Got these lights, you can look at, see what's going on. See the green lights blinking, that means it's paused. We also have one outside, right there. You can see it from around the farm. Just see how dry this feed is. We're only about 40 feet up right now. We're down to the last 40 feet of the silo, which we did not have it full this spring. It was only 3/4 full. This last 40 feet it's packed in really tight, so there's a lot of feed still in the silo. We're gonna feed it a little bit slower over the winter, make sure it lasts till spring. I want to turn the switch off. That will just keep power from being able to make it through if someone would turn it on down there. So all we did was decrease the size of this pulley by 1 inch. That just speeds that fan up a little bit just to throw the feed a little bit better, which it was doing that, but now it's just working the motor too hard. Just geared it up too much. He was thinking we'd probably be good without changing the pulley, but since we were up here and he had a pulley, like I said, let's just switch it and then we'll be extra safe, but for some reason it just doesn't like that extra speed. Now I'm going to restart the system and it's going to mix a batch. Still running into a similar issue. I guess it's because of those paddles barely rubbing the housing. So I'm gonna have to go back up and adjust those paddles a little bit. We kind of cleaned this out yesterday somewhat. So these are the paddles. There's 3 of them. Throw the feed up and out. Kind of scrape some of this, build up. You can see this. This is the gummy stuff that's building up in here. We adjusted these paddles out slightly. As they start to wear, you can adjust them. And I guess it's just a little too close. A couple spots. Normally it's good though, that's why it's a little confusing. It's not like it's hitting that hard. But yeah, I think what we need to do is bring a water hose up and just run a bunch of water into this thing and let it clean that fan housing out good. Probably was building up over the last few months and then it just got bad enough it started giving more trouble. Well, the amps are still jumping more than they used to. They're hitting 40 here and there. So yeah, I think what we're gonna try now is take some water up there. I don't know if just since yesterday we opened things up and disrupted some stuff in there, if it just is making that feed catch a little bit more for some reason. We got a water hose up here. My dad's down in the feed room keeping an eye on stuff. A batch is going to start in a little bit. And I'm just going to spray water right in there so it can get pulled into the fan when it's running. Ideally, you'd put it straight into the side of the fan, but there's no way to really do that, I don't think. I actually think what I'm going to do, shoot the water right in there. There's a gap. It'll get into those paddles. I think that'll be the best place. It's going to be mixing a batch of heifer feed. The weight's going to be thrown off a little bit because I'm adding water, so it won't matter as much. I stopped the water at the very end and it was easily thrown out the door, so we definitely got it cleaned out. Now the interesting thing will be how quick will that gum build up again. We can put the faster pulley on if we need to. I noticed a little issue when I was milking with this one watering trough. Got a leak in this hose on the bottom. These troughs, they dump out. They're nice for cleaning. Then you have this hose that it's got to give some flexibility so it can dump. And we have trouble with these hoses. The cows like to chew on them, so we have a pipe on here to see how much they chew on that. But the bottom now has got a hole in it. It's just starting to get brittle and wearing out. So I'm gonna go turn the water off to this trough and then we'll get a new hose on there. These are the valves for those 4 watering troughs on this side of the barn. We had some more of this hose in the utility room. Just cut a piece a little bit longer. See if I can find a couple new hose clamps and a piece of PVC pipe. I couldn't find another pipe that diameter around our farm, so we're gonna use the same one, just flipped it the other way. I'm gonna go turn the water back on and we'll make sure this valve didn't get stuck open or something. These watering troughs, they're built by Sturdy Built Manufacturing. Works a little better if there's more water, but yeah, that's why you need to have that flexible hose that's kind of out in the open. I think they have a better design on their new troughs, though. I'm not sure they're still doing this. These are 20 years old now. 2004 they were put in. Yeah, we're good. Each of our 4 pens in the barn has a watering trough, both sides of it. It is midday on Thursday, and my dad actually just took off to the mountains. He's gonna be away for the next few days, which is really good. We've been working pretty hard the last few months, especially the last bit now with getting all the fall work done. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that silo, and we could maybe put that faster pulley back on there. Maybe now that we got it cleaned out, we could put a different pulley and it wouldn't be a problem. I'm really hoping we can get that silo empty without too many headaches. Seems like we're getting a little more reliability out of the feeding system now. Besides that silo, everything's going really good. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.